right, everybody. We've got the last talk for the Kodiak Track 2 Cloud session today. We have joining us Jiangping and Marco from the Office 365 team to talk about a very exciting topic of how to manage vulnerability or scanning at cloud scale, and would love to share that with you. So why don't we give them a great welcome and a round of applause.
Thank you for spending the whole day in BlueHat. And this is the last talk. Thank you for attending. As I start the talk, I want to tell a story about the flooding. Does it work? About flooding, as the picture shows. I was born in south central of China, where each summer is a flooding season every year. My father brought our family to take a walk on the dam, and he told us this 1,000 years old Chinese proverb: 千里之堤毁于一穴. An ant may well destroy a whole dam. The story is, one year, there is a village near the bank of a river. To prevent the damage of flooding, the farmers built a long dam. One day, an old farmer accidentally discovered the ant nest suddenly increased a lot. He thinks this might affect the safety of the long dam. So he said, I must go back and tell the village something is happening. However, when he went back, the village think it's not a big issue and let it go. In the evening, with heavy wind and rain, the water in the river sped up, and the rolling river water infiltrated through the ant nest, and then it spread. And the embankment was drowned, and the village is gone. A single bridge can compromise a whole system. If a Surface machine is not security patched properly, this will need a security leak of the whole system for hackers. And the hackers, they can use this one machine, uncompliant machine, as a gateway to compromise the whole machines. They may stay there for years or for months. Then they get all the data. Today, we will first give an introduction about what is PEPC and why we need PEPC. Then we will share the data-driven approach of how to support human resource scalability. Then we will share some best practice, and we will leave some time for the question and answer. Please welcome my team member, Marco, to give an introduction of PEPC.
Thank you, Jiangping. Hello, everyone. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. So Jiangping already mentioned that one weak point can lead to entire system being compromised. So having this said, all it takes is one machine, one vulnerability. So here, we can see some of the vulnerability incidents that happened in the past. Spectre meltdown was one of them and required firmware patches in order for it to be mitigated. WannaCry is another big one that PEPC team faced, and it was mitigated by updating AV signatures. So we're talking about vulnerability scanning, and this is exactly what PEPC does. PEPC is one of M365 compliance requirements, and as such, scans across all M365 services and machines, making sure that all the machines have the latest security patches. Today, we are hosted on a range of 1 million machines, 1 million hosts, over 60 environments. And when we talk about scaling, we need to consider the rapid growth of M365. And in near future, this 1 million range can go to 2 million, 5 million, even 10 million. So how do we handle this problem? Today, PAVC infrastructure is capable of seamlessly scaling. Recently, we added SharePoint hosts, 0.2 million of them, without any impact whatsoever to our infrastructure. Let's talk a little bit about design. So PAVC incorporates well-adopted model, which is agent plus backend infra. So this is well-adopted model, and you probably are familiar with some of those agents out there. Some of them would be monitoring agents, hardware health check agents, intrusion detection agents, and many more other agents. So there's a sea of agents out there, and what makes us stand out? So I'd outline 3 things. One thing is external dependency that we take on. We encapsulate Beyond Trust software. So Beyond Trust is an industry standard, and they're a leader in their business when it comes to vulnerability scanning. Compliance. When we talk about compliance, we really talk about end-to-end health. We want to make sure that our agents are healthy, that they are deployed healthy, and uploading the data to our backend infra. Along the way, we want to make sure that our backend infra is healthy, that is processing data the way we want it to, and uploading it further to our Azure resources. Last but not least, and very important to us, is partner experience. We want to make sure that all of our partners have the best possible experience out there. What does this mean? This means no gray areas, no debugging on their end, no troubleshooting. On this PAVC infrastructure diagram, we can see in the bottom, we can see our data centers, machines that our agents are deployed on. Data flows, scanning results flow to our Azure resources. We have SQL DBs, storages, and most importantly, we have our cloud services that process the data. I already mentioned that vulnerability scanning is bread and butter for PAVC. But along that data, we also send many more. We send deployment, we send scan results, failures, and others. So, excuse me. So this is a lot of data. Today, we're facing around 3 million requests daily with 2 terabytes of data. So question here is, how do we leverage all this data? How do we make sense of it? How do we actually manually query the data and make the decisions? How do we ensure that partner experience that we made to our partners? More on this important topic about data, I leave you with Jiangping.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
So PAVC scanning is built on cloud infrastructure. So we leverage the scalability work to a well-built and tested infrastructure. Then how about human resource scalability? For our current team members, if our scanning range doubles or triples, can we handle it? In addition, we have daily developer jobs. So today, I'm going to share the process we have used to support human resource scalability issues. And also, we will do the demo about what we have done. So the process is only 3 steps. First is how to find issues. The second is what's the best solution. The next one is how to design and implement it. I think for every engineers, we have a common goal. We want to solve complex problems by using simple solutions. So I want to share how I found issues in this team. So here is some background about our team and me. I joined this team 5 months ago. This is a small team. We only have 4 people, including me, Marco, me, and Sankit and Wei. And as a data-driven problem solver, I have the passion by using the data to solve the problems. However, what's the problem? You want to find problems that can be solved. For me, it took me 3.5 months. Finally, I can understand when our team, they have email threads with the partner teams, I can understand what they are talking about. So after 3.5 months, I pull out all the email threads in August and read each email. It took me several days to read each email, and I summarize issues. I write down a list of issues. And at the end, I found 3 major issues of our current team, PEPC scanning. The first major issue is onboarding. Onboarding experience, we have a lot of partner teams onboarding. They want some data to check the data quality. Do we have it? The second major issue is the daily engineering supporting. We are engineers, but we're answering emails because the partner team said there's data missing. What has happened? The last major issue is new agent rollout. If new agent rollout, if there's any regression, can we stop it? We have talked about how to find the best issue, but find the issue to be solved. If for your team, if you are familiar with Teams, you can just go through the emails, like find a fixed period of time, and look at the email threads and see how many emails your engineers have spent answering. Is there any root issue? You can solve it. Or if you have a portal for incidents, and you can look at it. So for the best solution per issue, I made lots of mistakes. One mistake I used is I use ICM alerting. I use alerting for maintenance work. So you know what has happened? The ICM alert sent, nobody look at it. Because maintenance work is a routine work. Even they got ICM alerts, they say, oh, it's not urgent. I know I will do every Wednesday. Today is Monday, I'm not going to do it. So I'm the only one who look at ICM alerts. So I learned from this lesson. So I study each issue and go to ask the engineers, say, for this issue, how do you solve it, right? So based from my best practice, a lot of issues actually is just using reporting like Power BI. It's very helpful because it gives the great flexibility for engineers. They can play with the data for whatever issue they want to investigate. And also for ICM alerting, you might use ICM or use another alerting system. Alerting system should be restricted to urgent and action-based. It has to be action-based. Otherwise, this kind of alerting will be noisy. And nobody will look at it. And when real ICM comes in, nobody look at it. And it's passed. 千里之行，始于足下。A journey of 1,000 miles starts from a single step. A single step of automation will help your team in the long term, to help your team scalability in the long term. And also it brings the opportunity for further tuning in case there are similar issues or incident happens. Scalability means automation and tuning instead of depending human resource. So we talk about how to find the issue, what's the best solution. Now we talk how we designed our system. On the right side, we have 5 work we have done. The first work, number 1 work, is we analyze agent data directly from cloud service and send to Geneva Hotpass, MDM. And based on this data, these results, we built a set of thresholds for ICM alerts and enable ICM alerts when the threshold is breached. And the second, we build a health monitor. There's one thing to make your scalability grounded. No matter your coverage is 10 million machines or 1 billion machines. To make your scalability grounded, you got to have the capability to nail down to one machine. If somebody reports that some incident happens, you got to have capability, no matter what big range you cover. And also, the first is dashboard. The dashboard is used for anomaly detection. And the fifth was is a set of Power BI built based on our major scenarios. Now we are going to talk to demo what we have designed and what we have done. So all the demos I show you is alive, and is used by our teams and by the partner teams. So the first major scenario is new agent rollout. For Pepsi agent, when we roll out a new version, it's very critical. So so for the ICM, we need ICM to immediately let us know if the new agent brought any regression. So we will, for the new agent, we'll define a very strict threshold and check it. So if you look at the ICM, the top, it will give the information about what agent version is running and what percent of the machines are unhealthy. And on the middle, you can have the flexibility to define the severity of ICM. For me, for example, last week I was checking a new agent. So in the daytime, I put the threshold very high. So it will become a severity one. So anything abnormal, it will call me. But unfortunately, at night, I forgot to turn it off. So it called me at 9:45. But in the testing period is very helpful. You want to get attention before it's really deploying to client environment, because at that moment, to stop deployment, it costs. So this is the dashboard. The dashboard is for this one. You see our current Pepsi scanning agent is the version is 10.142. So this new agent has been checked in last week. And we have tested this agent on 22 machines. I got this data this morning. And then look at the top red circle. The beauty of it is, if you go to the right side, it allows you to choose different time runs, the history data. And if you look at data, it will give you, like for this new agent, we see the longest running time is just 1 minute. And the mean time means the average is less than 1 minute. So for me, I feel confident. So this new agent so far is pretty good. It's running well in the past day. All the scanning job is under 1 minute. Look at the bottom of the circle. It shows like for this new agent, actually in the past 1 day, it has running 67 scanning jobs. As I said, last week, I only tested 22 machines. And now, in the past 1 day, 67 machines has been running on this new agent. What it means? It means the new agent has been rolling out to other teams. So this you can give, it also you can define the color, like you can set some threshold. If it's 25 minutes, that's too long, it can be red. So it's very vivid. So this is simple, easy, but it helps a lot. And the Power BI. I have been working in data areas for 6 years. What amazes me is, because I haven't worked on Power BI for a while, so this time I retake the Power BI and I find a lot of issues. A simple Power BI, it helps. Instead of using a pure SQL query and you change it anytime, design a Power BI like this one. For this, we want to see like we are running escape scanning. Is there any failure for this agent? This is a new agent. We want to know what kind of failures it has and what's the count. It is important. And also, we have also another dimension. When you like us, because we are running around the different client environments, like Marco mentioned, we're running around 66 environment. So it's complex. So we need to have sometimes, when you look at data from this dimension and another dimension, and this Power BI give you flexibility. You can choose and see, oh, what kind of failure it has, how many machines has installed failures. The second main scenario is onboarding teams. Do you like to onboarding something new? I onboarded something. Wow, I was running around the building 31 from first floor to third floor. Making partner teams onboarding have a happy experience. So this Power BI is simple. I just talked to the onboarding team. I said, how do you feel onboarding? What do you want? She said, I just want a data quality report. Like for one service team, I want to see in the past 5 days, for each day, how many machines has running security scanning. Because they are onboarding, some settings are not stable. Maybe one day there were 5,000 machines running, the next day only 20 machines. Something is wrong, right? This is so simple. And I just took 1 hour, did it, and shared it with her. It's so easy, simple, and handy. And based on each onboarding team, we can follow up. What do you want? And do it. We can have a set of Power BI reporting for the onboarding teams. That helps them. Nobody wants to spend time asking people a question. They want to do it by themselves. So let's empower them by these simple tools. The last scenario is daily engineering supporting teams. As developers, sometimes like us, because we handle so many client environments, so we have email threads. So in this case, we also design some Power BI. So this is a Power BI. So in this way, sometimes we want to check, like for the same, like in the morning 8 a.m., today and yesterday, what's the difference of the count of failures? Maybe we did something, or maybe in the data center, and that time the performance is too low, or CPU is running too high. So this also gives the power, the engineers, for us, we can look at data instead of just using a SQL query. This is so simple and easy to use. So this is what I really like. As I said, no matter how many machines you have, 10 million, 100 millions, to make your scalability grounded, always you have the capability to nail down to each machine. Like now, we might scan 1 million machines or 2 million machines. But with this health monitor, I can nail down to any machine. If the partner team said, hey, we have the issue for this client environment, for this service, what's wrong? I can go here and check the health, and even check the past 30 days or 3 months. As we said, we have small teams. So the best practice, what we have is we build our pipeline on the cloud infrastructure. We leverage our work to third parties. And also, as we said, make sure your solution can be scalable and grow while your own service can grow. And also for Pepsi scanning, we have our special scenarios, right? Because we handle different environments. But for your teams, understand your scenarios and design the solution. Spend time, find the issues. As I said, start a journey of 1,000 miles by a simple step. Just do one automation at a time. It will help your team. Is it gorgeous? This is the Chinese Great Wall. It was built 2,700 years ago. I just Googled. Oh, no, I binned. No, just kidding. It was built on physical materials, bricks, to protect China from outside attackers. Today, we are here. No matter you are from Microsoft, you are from Google, Amazon, or any companies. As a security community, we are building a great wall to secure our services and our customers. this virtual Great Wall is built on our cloud infrastructures. Our engineers, like me, like you, and our co-operations. Let's bring out the inside of data to support human resource scalability. For the whole, make this world secure. As a one and being a one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jiangping. Now, hopefully we have some questions in the audience. We have some time to cover. This is the last session of the day. And as we continue to move forward in the future that is more cloud-centric, the challenges of scanning large footprints and dynamic footprints are something that everybody's likely to encounter in some way or another, whether that's the actual activity of scanning or the remediation. So hopefully we've got some questions in the crowd. Back there, last row.
Sorry to make you run so far. Two questions. One is, with the Beyond Trust Agent, we have seen some CPU impact. Have you experienced that? Is that an impact on your services? And then the other piece of this is, you had some ICM routing. How do you map that ICM routing dynamically? How are you driving that? Is that hand configured, or is that configured into config for the PAVC agent? How do you do that to get those alerts to route correctly to your services? The service I'm thinking of, we have hundreds of different microservices, so we need to be able to kind of automatically onboard there.
Okay.
But the CPU issue has been a tax for us.
Yes, so answering your first question, actually about the CPU, actually last April, we have a big incident about our agent has using a lot of CPUs. That's why I designed the ICM and the Power BI or the Geneva, because that agent has been there for 1 year. Actually, it has been using a lot of CPUs, but because, as you said, machines can run several agents, so it's hard to detect which agent it uses. So based on that incident, we have several follow-ups to solve that issues. So right now, we also have ICM for it. So for that issue, so far, we have addressed pretty well. So answering your second question about ICM, as I shared in the presentation, ICM, based on my experience, sometimes the ICMs are too noisy. So for me, for example, for that incident, I defined a new ICM. It's non-running scape scanning, because for some specific scape scanning, we are afraid if it runs too long, it will trigger something. So in summary, I would say, based on my experience, I will use the data, as I said, in the cloud service. I will get the data. I will first find a scenario. Is it worthy for ICM or not? And then I will design the data to make the data can speak for the situation. Then I will put in the ICM. In the ICM, it has threshold. So and also I think right now the Geneva is kind of powerful. So feel free to talk to me offline, and I can share what I have done with you. Thank you.
This is brave. I always have questions. And then, how do you resolve your PAVC results against any kind of inventory control, so you can show that you have complete coverage of your system? How do you make sure that all VMs or Azure subscriptions that you have in play are covered?
I think my team members can answer this question pretty well, but I can also answer based on my experience. So for our team, so PAVC is a compliant requirement for our scenario, because it's the basic compliance for the O365. So when you onboarding, so for our internal teams, you have to have Pepsi. And now we are using the Griffin. It's a new pipeline in inflow. So for 91, we also it's required. You have to have Pepsi. You have to have our. I mean, we need to have your data. If you don't have data, you are in trouble. Does that answer your question?
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, Jiangping.